Hi everyone, it's Julia. I wanted to just try something different on a background. So this is going to be a little mini quilt, and I have just a piece of white cotton Kona fabric and then a piece of warm and natural fleece behind it. And I'm just drawing some vertical and a horizontal line just using a heat erase pen. I'm showing you my walking foot here, and it does have a gauge on it that I'm going to be using at my sewing machine to quilt this. And I'm using this little curvy stitch, and I'm setting it at 5 width, 5 length. And what that's going to give me is just an elongated curvy stitch. Just adds a little bit of interest besides just a normal straight stitch. I do like using this for quilting. I'm going to share one more, and you'll be able to see it a little bit better on this one without that heat erase pen mark. But you saw that I adjusted my gauge there, and you can kind of see it there. It's just a long curvy stitch. Now I'm moving that gauge out. See, I'm going to have a bunch of different widths when I'm doing these lines. And I did my vertical and my horizontal, and it just gives a bunch of curvy boxes. I'm erasing that heat erase pen. And now I'm going to take this back to my sewing machine, and I'm going to use my free motion foot with my feed dogs dropped, and I'm just going to do a different stitch in each one of these little boxes. You'll see a mark there. A little corner. I left a couple marks on this, so I knew where I wanted to stop. I am going to leave a border all the way around this without the little stitches. But each one of these, some of them I put little spirals in, some of them I did just easy horizontal lines or vertical lines, diagonal lines, and some of them I just put an X, just did an X. So just did a lot of little stitches. This didn't take very long. There is a lot of these little boxes, but like I said, I just kept it really simple. Getting rid of that, again, that heat erase pen on there. And now I brought out my Inktense pencils, and I'm just taking out all my green ones. Now I have a really large set of these, and there's other sets that don't have as many colors, and you can also mix these colors. Another thing you can do is just use watercolor would work. I would just experiment with it. This particular quilt, I don't see it ever being washed, but I am going to use like a fabric medium to activate these, just using the Golden Cat medium. I've got them all scribbled, but none of them are activated yet, and so I'm just taking a brush, and I actually didn't get this completely filmed. My head was in the way the entire time. I just apologize, but you'll see what it looks like. It's just got really dark and really bright, and it's still wet right now, so it's going to make it more subdued. I want this as a background so it does lighten up. And then I've got this I love this book, and I'll link it down below. I've used it so many times in my videos, but I want to do this pansy, and I made it and just scanned it and enlarged it in my computer just to make it big. I'm going to have one big pansy right in the middle of this. So I'm using my Heat and Bond light, and I'm just going to draw these little petals out on the paper side of my Heat and Bond light. You can see the colors that I've chosen for this are going to be some lavender, some kind of purple colors, and then some couple green for the leaves. I rough cut those out and then ironing them on the back side of my fabric. And then I fussy cut them. I have my drawing underneath a piece of parchment paper, taking that paper off the back of each one of these little pieces, and I'm just arranging this how my diagram is. And then this center one covers up that middle. Just taking that piece of paper away, and then I'm going to take my iron, I'm going to press this so all these pieces will stick to this parchment paper, but I'll be able to peel them off, and it'll be one unit. Just trying to decide how I want these leaves arranged. And then just carefully removing it and bringing it over to my piece. I'm going to go back over to my sewing machine now, and I'm going to stitch this using black thread, and just going to be doing a messy, kind of a messy free motion stitch. I think I would have probably used a navy blue thread if I had it, but I don't have all my thread here where I am at for this winter, and so I'm just using my black, kind of doing a little center there, and then just going to be drawing in some of these little, just kind of doodling and drawing in some of the little marks that these flowers have. And here's what it looks like. I had a little piece of this vintage, or I think it's tea-dyed lace, and it has a ruffle look to it. And so I'm going to just cut a little bit of it out and put it in the center, just for some dimension. And then it has that ruffly look, just like these flowers. And now you can see I bound it and put a backing on it. And now I just decided I wanted to add the word pansy at the bottom. And so I put some Heat and Bond Light on that same fabric that I use for my backing and binding. And I have my Bigz die for my my Sizzix Big Shot. And this is called Wordplay, and it's a Tim Holtz die. And it has just the alphabet on it. So I'm spelling out the word pansy. I'm going to make my sandwich and then run it through this very old Sizzix Big Shot. It's been very faithful. And then just taking these apart, these little letters. And now I'm removing the backing, that back paper. And then back to my sewing machine to stitch those on. And here's what it looks like. I hope you enjoyed it, everybody. I had my doubts on this one as I was going through it, but I do really like how it turned out. And it was a fun technique with using that ink on the background. Hope you have a great week. Bye for now.